Do not be led by others. Awaken your own mind. Amass your own experience and decide for yourself your own path, says the Atharvana Veda, which is the fourth among the Vedas and is considered an encyclopedia on many subjects. It reflects the life of the Vedic people and is related to both worldly happiness and spiritual knowledge. Hello, my name is Malati, and this is my show titled The Impressive Empress. Here I talk to women leaders to understand what it takes to become a leader, to understand the journey from within, the journey to becoming a female leader with a higher purpose. Our guest for the day is Dr. Rashi Gupta, fondly known as the Battery Valley of India. She is an entrepreneur and is a pioneer in the manufacturing of advanced lithium batteries in India, along with the world's smartest lithium battery. She is the founder and managing director of Vision Mechatronics Private Limited, leading it towards a name to reckon for in the field of robotics, renewable energy, and energy storage. A woman entrepreneur who has been fearless and ferocious in creating a brand for herself and her company in these male dominated fields. If one takes a closer look at the alchemy of this achiever, two distinct virtues would pop up. Besides perseverance and hard work, and they are pioneering spirit and willingness. Coupled with an impressive educational background, it was not therefore surprising that she became a prominent name in the renewable energy sector of India, which earned her the title Asia's Most Influential Woman in the Renewable Energy 2020. She is a recipient of the Global Women Leadership Award 2021 and the Women in STEM 2021 by CII, the Confederation of Indian Industry. I'm really happy to have her on the show talking to me about her experiences. Listen on to know what makes Rashi the impressive empress. So, a very good afternoon, Rashi. Welcome to our show titled The Impressive Empress, where we are talking to women leaders from various walks of life, trying to understand their journey from within, their journey to becoming a female leader with a higher purpose. And I'm so glad that we are sitting together to talk about your inner journey and what made you the Battery Valley of India. So welcome to our show, Rashi.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to connect with all the audiences and you, of course. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. And about how I became the Battery Valley of India is a very nice question. I mean, everyone asked me, that is the first thing they asked me. So what happened is that in India, there is a tradition of assigning a Wali or a Wala to what you do as work. I mean, that is easier to associate the person with its work. So same thing happened with me. And when I pioneered in 2015 for batteries, lithium batteries and advanced lithium batteries in India, when there was nobody doing this. And being a female entrepreneur in this male dominated segment, it was easy to make your space, a recognition for yourself saying that, okay, there's a female entrepreneur doing this. Okay, so if anybody wanted anything, go and ask that Battery Valley. She must be knowing it. That lady who does battery work, now go and talk to her. And that's how it just started. And, then I just realized when people started associating me with that name, I said, why not use it? Capitalize on it, right? So I just picked it up and I was like, okay, let's go ahead. Battery Valley of India. So with all due respect, love, affection of the entire community, I accepted the title and I was like, okay, let's go ahead with it.
Great. Tell me something about your growing up years, a couple of stories from your life that actually helped you take the plunge of becoming an entrepreneur, which eventually brought you this title.
Growing up, I'll tell you what, I mean, my life was nothing like an ordinary girl, I'll tell you very honestly. It was, my parents never gave me a doll to play with or, the kitchen utensils to play with, to be very honest. I mean, which is what happens in traditional Indian homes where you have the girls playing with dolls and saris and, makeup kits and whatever. I never had that. My dad gave me a computer. He said, learn something. I was just like about 5 or 6, yeah. very young, because he used to work, and he had a comp for himself to work. So I used to just sneak in. I was like, can I play on this? And he was like, okay. So at that time, we used to have that Pac-Man game, where that thing would go and eat the dots. So, so I used to play that game, and I used to feel wow. And then, but at the same time, there was a striking balance which my mom created, that I was supposed to know everything in the house. So the kitchen responsibility was still there, and at the same time, I was like allowed to play games, and I was allowed to use the computer. So that was so exciting. And my parents never differentiated between a boy and a girl. So I was given more privileges rather than my brother. So I'm happy about it. And that shaped a lot of my growing years into becoming very, very attracted towards science, technology, towards being very mentally and strong, and having a very strong mindset of growth. So that initial building years really changed a lot in me, and I think that is the foundation of what I am today, without which I don't think I would have taken such a big plunge into entrepreneurship as well as being into hardcore technical fields.
True. I mean, the support that we get from parents, especially from the mothers, I've heard time and again by so many women and also men, that it kind of builds the foundation on which you're able to stand strongly. So I'm glad they did what
Yes.
they did. I heard the saying, have a commitment, clarity will come. This was said by Captain Raman, who's someone whose speech I've started admiring in the recent years. Is this something you can resonate with?
Well, yes. I can resonate to this, and I can relate it in terms of focus, in terms of sincerity, and in terms of dedication that you would have to your work, or to yourself, rather, for that matter. Because what happens is, a person has to first relate to himself or herself. And if you cannot relate to yourself, there can never be a commitment or a dedication or a focus on anything. So, whatever you do, you have to first relate to yourself. You have to first accept that yes, I am capable of doing this. And when you say that you're capable of doing this, that first small thought which comes to you is the foundation of your success, with focus, perseverance, persistence, and commitment. It takes a big deal to make a commitment. I'm sure
your high education quotient, with starting with mechanical engineering, then to MBA, then to a law degree, and then finally a PhD in management. I don't know if it's the final. Maybe you want to continue. You want to be a lifelong learner. But wow, really wow. What went on in your mind when you did all these, when you conquered all these degrees, and how have these helped you in your life? I'll tell you what, education or any kind of thing that you learn stays with you throughout your life, and it will help you in every walk of your life. I mean, whether it is languages, or it is any skill, or it is education that you take, okay, it helps you a lot. Like I'm into, now people say that you're an engineer and then you went into a law degree. So that's a drastically different segment. How does it help you? So, you know what I'll tell you? When I did my engineering, there was because of my father. Okay. And then I went on to do MBA because engineers had no value. They are the least valued people, the least valued degree for that matter. And they will say, okay, you need to have one more degree, a master's at least, to become employable, or to, get a good job and get some good earning. So I said, okay, let me just do an MBA. Post MBA, I was like, okay, now what? I was still not employed. Okay. I never got a job. So I was like, okay, I need to do something on my own. But then I just started working on my own. And then I did my law degree because of my mom. She wanted to do a law degree. She could not study at that time, even though she's finished it now, but then she didn't have a PhD. So how could I be looked down upon without a PhD? So I went on. Now, these are some reasons of having the degrees. Now, how did I use them, and how were they very effective for me in every walk of my life? See, being an engineer helped me think clearly, plan properly with absolute logic and reasoning. Okay, then my business administration helped me execute everything flawlessly, become an entrepreneur. My law degree helped me to
safeguard me from the pitfalls that I could. And the PhD degree, the research, it always helped me in improving my product with research and development. It taught me how to do research, how to make your, how to improve, okay, on what is there, how to do a problem statement, how to find a solution to it. So every degree that I got, I have implemented it in every walk of my life. Silly reasons, silly reasons have made me reach here.
Yeah, sometimes, it is the simple things in life that add a lot of value. But we, going through it, we never realize that. But yeah, I mean, I'm also an entrepreneur and I've been dreaming of doing a PhD. And what you have said, I think, kind of should motivate me to go ahead and do that.
Good. So next time I speak to you, it will be Dr. Malati.
Hopefully. I don't think
No,
we
I'm
should
sure
wait
about
that
it.
long. No, I don't want to wait for that long,
You
It
don't
could be
have to wait for
Dr.
long. You just begin now and you're there in 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really fast. Yeah. Okay. So, and from your website, I see that you have quite a few mentors and quite a few guides. And how important is it to have a mentor to grow as an entrepreneur or as a woman leader?
I think having a mentor is important. And I think the mentorship first begins at home. Your parents are your first mentors, and they're very important mentors for you because they lay the foundation stone. And then over a period of time, people from the same field, from the business fields that you are in, or from your work field that where you work, or your friends, they can influence and become mentors. A mentor, it is not one static mentor that you would have. Life is a
Hmm.
journey, and mentorship also is a journey. And you may
Hmm.
never know who comes to you next. And that journey is very important to, embrace, to be happy about, and to recognize at the right time that you found a mentor.
Exactly. So that was going to be my next question. So, how do you go about building that kind of a mentor mentee relationship?
I think it's very simple. If you can discuss or share your problems, whether it is anything with somebody, I think you have developed a mentor mentee relationship. Let's keep it very simple, straightforward. I mean, even your friend, even if your friend can give you an advice which clicks to you, I mean, in very simple, language, it should click. If it clicks to you, it makes sense to you, you have developed. And like I said, you don't have to have it as a static relationship. It is very versatile. And if you get inspired by somebody, you can always reapply. Life is very simple. We just need to keep it simple.
And we always try very complex things to make it very simple. I think we need to approach it in the simplest form of way and then move ahead. Thanks for bringing that up. um, I listened to one of your interviews where you said true power is when you know yourself. So the primary reason for me to start this podcast is that I feel that we all must embrace ourselves as women first.
Nice. What happened is I was going through the lowest of the low phase of my personal life at that point of time, or rather, professional, personal, for me, everything was one and the same at that time. I was going through the worst phase of my life. And probably, I don't think I would have hit any lowest trench at that time. And it so happened I was. I went to actually replace as a proxy for one of my mother's commitments. And that day, I learned on one of the spiritual sessions on what is a karmic balance sheet. And that
Wow.
was the turning point in my life. And since then, I've never felt low, honestly. And that was the time when I discovered how strong I am and how weak I am. And it all lies with me.
Yeah.
My strength, my weakness, both lies with me. Now you would be in a question mark that how my weakness is with me and how my strength is with me. It is up to me as a person, as an individual, that I can convert my weakness into my strength. So it is up to me.
Exactly.
It's about my mindset. How am I going to approach to the situation or to whatever has happened, to the problem statement? Whether I want to make it my strength or whether I want to look at it as my weakness is something that is my own belief. If I'm scared, if I'm feeling weak, it will become a weakness. If I'm headstrong and I'll say, come on, let's see what you have for me in the store. I'm ready to take heads on with you. It becomes my strength. How do the tables turn? How do the situation which is really bad and which is absolutely against you turn in your favor? It's only with your mindset. So if you internally inside you are strong, you have a very solid foundation, and you have the firm belief that whatever happens is the best for me, you will never have a weakness. You can turn around the tables just with a thought, with a thought.
Great. Coming with so much conviction, I'm sure it's going to hit everyone at their core. Very strong statement. In fact, this was one of the questions from one of my friends, who's a patron for the Impressive Empress. Her question today was, what is your strategy that you use to tide over your low points? And you've already answered that question.
Whenever I go through the low, I'm also a human being. I also go through a lot of situations. So at that point of time, I just take a pause. And this is for everyone. All of you can do it. It's very simple, okay? Whenever you are hitting the wall and you think, okay, it's a dead end. I don't know what to do. Just take a pause, take a deep breathe very deeply, exhale, and just think, what is it that I want to do at this point of time? What is it that I want? You have to be absolutely focused on yourself, on your inner self. You will get the answer, and just follow your instincts. You will never hit a dead end. You will turn the table and it will be a beautiful garden full of flowers and happiness, and you will be out of the situation. That's a guarantee.
Solid piece of practical advice. Thanks for that. Yeah. So we all know, I know from by reading your profile that your strengths are many in number, like your power, your perseverance, your pioneering spirit, your fearlessness, your ferocious approach. But I think all these must have helped you achieve whatever you have achieved. What have been some of your weaknesses that have been roadblocks, and how did you overcome these?
My biggest weakness was anger. I was somebody who will get very angry, with just a word, and I would it was right on my nose here. I could just be angry immediately, and so bad that I could fire people left and right. And then when I realized, after I hit my low, I just realized, what's the use? How is it going to help me anyway? I spoil my body with that anger because it hurts you. When you are angry, when you are in a negative emotion, it hurts you also. So what's the point in troubling my body so much? What's the point in troubling the person in front of me with so much of anger? Is it going to help me anyway? Like when I learned how to deal with, weaknesses, I just said, I took a pause. I just realized, being angry, will it solve anything? Will it make anything better? And my inner self said, no. So when you get an answer from your inner self saying no, it is immediately that you should stop it. It does not make sense. Our soul is so powerful that it guides you at every moment. But the only point is you got to listen to it. You have to have faith in that inner voice, that small, tiny inner voice that comes and which you just, put it on side by not listening to it. But then, yeah, that is important. And when my inner voice said that, okay, I did not get angry, it's not required. And that was the moment of victory. It was gone. I'm sorted. So when you have to sort yourself, that was one of my major weaknesses. I feel that was one of my major weaknesses. And since then, I don't think I have had some major anger issues or anything of that sort. I've been totally sorted, peaceful, cool. There was a time when I was the most angriest person, probably having all swords, knives, forks, whatever you could get to fight. But today I'm like absolutely chilled out, cool. Now, even if somebody comes angry in front of me, and I'm like, okay, please sit. I mean, no matter what the person has done bad or destroyed or created a hell lot of losses in anything, I would just come say, okay, sit, let's have a glass of water, eat something, and then we'll see what to do. I mean, so chilled out. I'll just write an example of how I could, like last year when just lockdowns were just announced, we had a major setback just before the lockdown because one of our vendors messed up with one of the products that was incoming raw materials. And there was no way that it could be redone because we were very short of time. And in a manufacturing unit, manufacturing requires certain amount of time, which you cannot, there's no shortcut to manufacturing. Okay. So at that point of time, everybody had panicked and everybody in the company said, okay, ma'am, now what do we do? We have lost the battle. And I'm like, I know we've lost the battle, so it's okay. I was so chilled out. It was losses of a few crores there. And I was like, okay, fine, chilled out. No problem. You go to the vendor, find out why he has done it wrong. And as an engineering team, ensure that this mistake is never repeated for us or for anybody else that he is a vendor to. And he's like, we need to penalize him. I said, no, we're not going to penalize him at all. No penalties. It was, if you cannot inculcate good habits or a good a good production line from him, then it's your fault. You are the ones who have to pay for the penalty, not him. Go get it sorted. Whatever has happened has happened. We will cover it up in the next year. Whatever happens has happened. There is no undo button in life. So just remember that, in a computer, in an IT business, you still have an undo, but life and manufacturing does not have an undo. So just forget it. Now just sort it. Whatever we can do to implement good practices, do it. Let us take it as a learning. And I was like totally chilled out. I did not have even a frown on my face saying that, okay, now what next? I was like, okay, we'll cover it up. And we did it. So, when you had, we covered it up. In the next financial year, we covered it up. So whenever you are rock solid inside, it will always show outside.
True that. And so you consider your spiritual practice to be helping you in this?
Absolutely. That is my backbone. Absolutely.
So in these VUCA times, I think now they have also added a B in front and at the end. So disruptive, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and diverse times. And normally we'll have one or two combinations, but I think Corona has taught us to deal with, I think we now have to look for new uncertain terms. But in these times, how did you manage your business and how did your leadership style change during these times? And especially as a woman?
I think, you know what? I went on my inner journey during the pandemic, and that has helped me a lot. I went in Hindi. I'm using this word. It is called antarmukhi, going inside, going on your inner journey. Okay, so I went on my inner journey, and I ensured that everybody who works with us is peaceful. No pay cuts. That's the first thing. No pay cuts. No expenses will be cut. They will be as the way they are. Nobody will be troubled. No delayed payments. Nothing. In fact, we helped some of them with advances as well, so that they can be peaceful during these times, and they can bank on us that yes, we are there with them, and no layoffs. Absolutely zero layoffs. Okay. That was the first thing I ensured. Then what I did was I went on my inner journey to discover myself, because this was a very good time. No travel, very few meetings in the first 3 months of the lockdown. I had a lot of time for my own, development, improving my skills, because as being at the head of the organization, you really do not get too much time to improve on yourselves. So I made new strategies for the organization and for myself at that during the first 3-4 months. And then what I realized is that people need a lot of hope and faith at this point of time.
True.
So that's what I did. I made sure that I'm available for each one of them Whoever wants to talk to me can definitely call me up. There was no hierarchy at that point of time. I made myself accessible to everybody across so that they can call me up, they can talk to me. And that was, and one thing that I made sure was that I would call up each and every person on the phone book that I had the number stored. I mean, I called up everybody asking about their well-being, asking of just 2 minutes. I mean, just a courtesy call on hi, hello, how are you? Is everything all right? And how are things? Long time to catch up, simple things. And that gave me a lot of faith to myself and restoring the faith in humanity. Very simple thing, did not cost me much, but then it gave me a lot of satisfaction, gave people around me a lot of happiness and hope that yes, things will be fine someday. Yeah. And second thing, what I did was I cut off from the news entirely. Very difficult because this WhatsApp University is very nice, but and of course the news channels is very nice, but I am not eligible for such a nice university somehow. So I decided to take a break from that education of the WhatsApp University and news university, and I decided to just let me focus on myself. So one thing that I have learned over this journey is that whenever there is a huge turmoil or a storm outside, what does a tortoise do? It goes inside the shell. And the shell is so strong that it will protect the tortoise from everything that's happening outside. I became a tortoise. I decided, let me go back in my shell. Let me just live peacefully in harmony with myself first. And because when I am in harmony with myself, I can offer that to somebody else. What you have within is only that you can give outside. If you're sad, you will give sadness. If you're happy, you will give happiness. So when I'm with peace and harmony with myself, I can offer you that. And that's what I decided to do. That is what changed in the pandemic.
Great. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, another one of my favorites, said, "What matters in this life more than winning for ourselves is helping others win, even if it means slowing down and changing our course. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle." I'm so totally able to relate this with your case. And, yeah, I mean, we need some people with the human touch. Sometimes it's often the case that we lose our humanity, and we are more focused on the deliverables or on the returns, and the ROI and all of that stuff is what play in our minds rather than looking or taking a humane approach. Thanks once again. So, how is it that you manage doing so many things that you are doing? You are a committee member of the Bureau of Indian Standards for Batteries, Energy Storage, and Mobility. You're a member of the International Electrotechnical Commission, a committee member of the National Energy Storage Committee. I think I need about 5 minutes to just read whatever you're doing. So, I just read a couple of things that I think is important. You're the advisor, Energy Storage India Smart Grid Forum. You're the committee member of IEEE, Gender Equality and Social Inclusion. So with so many things that you're doing, plus you're an entrepreneur of your company, and it's very easy. Plus you also do, you have taken up some sustainable development goals, which the UN has put forth. The SDG 5 and 7, so many things, the rural electrification, the gender diversity and bridging the gender gap. It's very easy to get overwhelmed and to start thinking about the pros and cons, and whether, we start thinking, we get all these self-doubts, whether I should do it or not do it. How do you ensure that you have the right kind of time and energy to be able to multitask and to think strategically to succeed?
Okay. Now I'll give you something which I really do every day is my me time. I've been talking about this on many forums. I'll take some time to tell you this also, that me time is very important, and which I do for myself in the morning. Early hours, you can find your me time anywhere in the day or in the night as you please, but that doesn't mean you have to go watch TV or you have to cook or you have to read. No, it's me time. It's time for me. And as women, we never have me time. We are so busy with our daily stuff, with children, with the house, with the, with in-laws or with the work. We never find me time for ourselves. So what I do is early morning, I have a me time for myself. I listen to what I want to do. It's introspecting, it's reflecting, it's about me. And I do it every day. I don't miss out on my me time. Very important for me. Even if it is sometime I just get only 10 minutes, fine. But I will make it a practice to do it. Now, what happens is, now all this comes to, time management. Prioritizing, having a time management, and never forgetting yourself. Women tend to get carried away in, justifying and trying to please everybody. Don't do that. It's absolutely not required. You just have to be you. When you are you, you can do everything. You're so powerful, you're so empowered, you can do everything under the sky. And that is my energy that I get every day doing my me time, talking to myself, feeling happy about it, embracing my own self. And that is when, what happens is I get to think a lot. I get to reflect upon what I want to do. How can I create a difference to the society? How can I create a difference to one single person's life? My day is done. So these are very, very small things which I do. And that's how, and time management, of course, is very important. Prioritizing. And you know what? When you're happy doing something, you don't feel burdened. You don't feel it is a task. You don't feel that, okay, you have to spend so much of time on this. Oh my God, this is so taxing. When will this get over? When will this project be finished? All these thoughts never come to your mind. Because if you are happy doing something, time flies. You really don't realize that when was it the morning and when it is evening in the fire. So you have to be happy about doing these things. And that's what I do. If I'm not happy about something, if it is not, giving me that sense of satisfaction, I will not do it. I've learned to say no. It's very difficult for women to say no. They will say yes to everything.
And suffer.
We have to learn to say no and suffer. Absolutely. Our suffering is because of us. We invite the suffering. So we have to say no to something that we cannot justify to ourselves. That's what I do. Simple as that. And when I cannot, like I'll tell you what, there was one committee planning for an empowering women session, and I said it doesn't make sense at this point of time. Let's not do it. Very simple. I could say a no because I felt that it does not make sense. And thankfully, the committee agreed, and we have postponed it for the next year. I'll send you an invite also for that. Please do come. So you know what? You have to learn to say no, and you have to learn to voice your opinion clearly, firmly, and assertively. That's when everything is sorted. And you have a lot of time to do yourself and whatever you like.
Great. So when you do this repeatedly, sometimes there would be a lot of resistance, and working in a male-dominated field, you would probably have been discriminated. You would have faced gender discrimination. So what are the 3 important steps that you took to embolden yourself and surge ahead?
I think the first and foremost is, I belong to a technical field. So having resistance was very important. And that's how I actually became an entrepreneur, because the first resistance I had was that women are not good designers and they cannot do technical stuff really well. I mean, back in those days, but now things have changed. So what is important now is that you need to focus on your strengths, very important. Second, have a very strong technical knowledge. I mean, whatever you say or every word that you speak should make sense. Okay, be assertive. You don't have to be aggressive to make your point. You just be assertive and be strong and stick to your beliefs. Don't get carried away. If you don't feel it is right, please don't get carried away because somebody else who is more experienced than you or who is having gray hairs and a black suit says that it is supposed to be like this. No. Challenge. you can always say that, I feel this is how it should be. Can we give it a try? Let's at least take my step. And if it's not, I'm ready to accept what you have to say. Let's give it a try at least. So, this is how you can actually put yourself in front of these, in this, where you face discrimination, where you face resistance, and you can tell them that, no, I feel it is this way, and let's give it a try. So, this is how it has worked for me, and I think it should work for others as well. But yeah, evaluate the situation thoroughly and then take your stances.
Yeah. I think it all comes back to true power is knowing who you really are. And I think it's from that foundation that we can be able to communicate clearly and loudly and assertively as to what we want and how we want to go about. I know that you're also very active in bridging the gender gap and bringing gender parity. Even in your organization, you have 50% representation for the women. So, what factors have converged to contribute to women leadership effectiveness and the rise of female leaders?
I think I just practiced what I preached. Simple. If I practice equality, if I preach equality, I need to practice equality as well. That's what I did. And something that I felt was a phenomenal growth when I had all women leaderships with me. Strategic positions, all women. I could feel the growth. Probably I could resonate well with them. That also could be one of the reasons. But then I think they're more capable. Women, I did not enlighten women on their strengths and the capabilities they have. We all know it. Only thing is we don't polish ourselves. We don't have faith in ourselves that we can do it. So that is what I did with all of these women, and yeah, there we are, growing every year, being better every year, being stronger every year, and I think, just by having this small thing, like, it again comes down to the same thing, that if you believe in yourself, you can achieve, the sky is achievable. You can achieve anything under the sky that you want. And it's not going to be difficult. It's a power of thought that you have. Very importantly, I repeatedly say this, that think about it. When you really want something, when you desire something so truly, you get it. So that's important. But the point is, you should listen to yourself. And that's what I did. When I felt that I need to practice what I'm preaching, I immediately took measures to implement that, because I am the one, if I'm preaching, I have to set an example myself. That's very important. Otherwise, people will just say, she just keeps talking and she doesn't do anything. She's also like one of the other speakers who would come, just talk and just go away, get some nice applaud and done. But I didn't want to do that. I'm okay. I'm happy with my snail pace of doing things that I'm doing, but then they just have to be perfect.
So you're also very passionate to work on the sustainable and circular development, focused on like I said, the UN development program, which has the sustainable development goals. So you have chosen 5 and 7. Could you please elaborate on that and let us know why you chose these? And what have been
5 and 7 are very close to me. 5 is gender equality, 7 is energy, power, and I'm powerful. I love the power I have. I love the soft power that I have. So I decided to be in the energy field, and I feel women are powerhouses. They just need to discover themselves. So when when a woman is empowered, everybody else around is empowered. So I felt that if I can bring, because I first felt empowered myself, I just discovered how powerful I can be, how I can help others to come up to the level that I am, probably even better than me. I would love to see people who become better than me by taking it from me. I would love to see that. So how can I create more powerhouses? So I felt, and there is a gender disparity, there is an inequality. And if I can contribute my little bit to help women sustain better, why not? Society has given me so much. I should give it back. It's my time to give it back. And then second thing is, what I felt was that power is one sector where women are looked down upon. We do not have much representation. So I said, okay, these 2 sectors are very important. And today, without power, you cannot do anything. See, a few years back, it was food, water, shelter. Now it is food, water, shelter, electricity, internet.
Yeah.
So, without
Internet comes
these three,
first. Internet comes
so
first.
internet comes first. So it is now. So let me correct the order. It is internet, electricity, food, water, and then shelter.
Yeah.
So let's correct the new definition now. And then, so I realized, these are certain sectors where you can work, you can change, and you can create. And you know what? In the power sector, the beneficiaries, 90% of the beneficiary are women. So they're interrelated. And one thing that we did in one of the schools, in one of the primary schools in the villages in Katavaram, I realized that the girls didn't want to come to the school because they had very clean toilets, no doubt, but there was no water because there was no electricity because the water pump wouldn't run without electricity. So again, a circular loop. So just by providing them some sustainable green solar power with storage, of course, the admissions of the school tripled. There were 3 times. And even though they had a midday meal scheme, that was not an attraction. They said, we get food at home. That's not the attraction to come to school. The school now has Wi-Fi. The school now has e-learning classes, projectors, computers, just because they had access to sustainable energy, for which they were not dependent on any external source. Girls are happy to come to school now.
Great.
They're not scared anymore to go out, get water for themselves for the toilets. Very simple things, but they make a huge impact on somebody's life. And these are pre-primary school up to 6th standard. Imagine at that tender age, what impact it has on the minds of these young kids. So I realized, what difference it can make. What amount of satisfaction I got. I mean, I don't have words for it. But then I could see those young lives transform. I could see, wow, what amount of, talent will be created because they got an opportunity. So much talent is wasted because they do not get an opportunity.
True.
So these are very important to me. So whatever I can do to contribute to these 2 sectors, I will.
Great. So you also said that you would appreciate women taking up strategic positions. So how are you ensuring in your company that more women are able to take up the kind of roles that you have taken?
Well, I do talk to each one of them. I try to mentor them, whatever I can do. Sometimes I learn from all of them also. It is learning is an entirely, a lifelong process. It's a journey. So I've learned from them. I try to talk them out. I try to help them out wherever I can with their personal and professional agendas. One thing that I did was, I made sure that each one of them gets an incentive or a sponsorship for learning a new skill. That's for everybody. I mean, no gender discrimination, whether you're a man or woman, everybody gets that. And they have to mandatorily take that. Otherwise it lapses from the CTC. So there is one incentive somebody has, okay, I can learn a new skill, and that skill need not be work related or need not be, technical skill. It can be any skill that you want to learn or you wished you could. So time is given, money is given for that, and you need to learn that skill. So what I try to do is now enhance their personal journey as a person. Because when you come to work, you spend maximum time at work. The peak lifetime is at work. So if you're not happy, if you're not creative, if you're not doing something for yourself in that time, you will never be satisfied and happy. So your personal and professional development both are together. So that's what I try to do with this small initiative. I just hope everyone gets benefited with that.
What is it that you do on a daily basis or on a regular basis to ensure that your conscience is clean and that your vision is not clouded by unwanted distractions?
My me time.
Me time.
The answer is my me time. I love myself a lot. I'm sorry if anybody feels that I'm egoistic or something, but I'm not. I'm someone very down to earth, but I just love myself. And I think loving yourself is the first primary thing, to be clear in your vision, because that's when you can hear your inner voice. That's where you will know that, okay, you will be guided, by the nature's strength. saying that, okay, this is correct and this is not correct. You will have that guiding, support behind your back. Your angels will keep guiding you. So first and foremost, love yourself. Then second thing is stay focused. Very importantly, stay focused on what you're doing. Like, I'll tell you what, even in work, I had a lot of temptations going into charging infrastructure because we are into batteries per se and energy storage solutions. So we were like very tempted. Everybody gave us a lot of temptation that why don't you get into charging infrastructure? Why don't you diversify into getting into building the e-vehicle, since you have the core knowledge of batteries and you're good at it? And I was like, no. It may be a very attractive situation. It may be something which could have been giving a lot of revenue, but that's not my core. I will not deviate from core. I would still love to remain battery wali. I do not want to deviate from the core strength that I have. So you will have a lot of temptations coming your way, but you have to resist those temptations. You have to stay focused on what you want to do. And you have to evaluate the pros and cons thoroughly. And that is when your vision will not get clouded.
Right.
So very important is focusing. And I think focusing and staying on the path that you believe. So I believed for my company, for myself, that I'm good with batteries. We are good with storage. Let's remain with storage. We cater to EV segment. We cater to stationary storage segment. We do everything that is possible, but we remain focused with our niche, with our core. We have not deviated from the core.
Great. Amazing answers. I'm thoroughly enjoying. I'm really sad that it's going to come to an end. But let us wrap it up with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Chris, answers. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's fire it. So which woman inspires you and why?
Mommy dearest. Because mom has laid the foundation stone. Mom gave me a lot of strength. She gave me clarity. She was always a backbone and support system whenever I needed it. I mean, even today I can bug her with everything that I want to without even thinking of, that she's a mom. She's my mom. No. I mean, the first thing on the speed dial is going to be mom.
Okay. So what is success according to you? And what success habits have you cultivated?
Success is a journey, okay? It's not a destination. And success is to be measured by your own self. You're not supposed to measure your success with, by comparing yourself with anybody else. Don't compare yourself. I think I am successful when I am satisfied, when I can have my good night's sleep. Very simple definition of my success is that, okay, I have achieved it. I keep my milestones short, simple, sweet, achieve them, go to the next one. That is success.
Great.
Simple.
How could self-employed women develop their leadership skills?
Okay. Self-employed women need to be very focused on two things. I mean, now you're being focused on two things at the same time is very difficult, but you have to focus on yourself and you have to focus on your company or whatever work you're doing. Don't let others come and give you beautiful advices. Just listen to them. You may not implement each one of them. So think wisely and focus more on people, because they are your true value. They are your true foundation. So focus on people. And I think that is when you will become a nice leader. You will be a very effective leader then.
Great. You have received multiple awards, starting with the Asia's Most Influential Women in Renewable Energy 2020, Global Women Leadership Award 2021, and recently Women in STEM by the Confederation of Indian Industry 2021, etc., etc. Of all the awards that you have received, which is the one that makes you feel like you really deserved it or makes you feel proud of yourself, and why?
Well, you've asked me a very tricky rapid fire question here. I think all of them are equally important for me.
Okay.
And when I got the Asia's Most Influential Women title, I was not expecting. I didn't even know I was nominated. I had no idea, no clue. And then after that, Women in STEM by CII and Global Leadership Award for it was 100 women across the globe. I had absolutely no clue of each one of them. I just filled the forms and I was like, okay, for the first one, I didn't even know the nomination. The second and the third, I just filled the forms and it just happened. I was not expecting any of them. All of them are very close to me, very nice ones of them. And they have made me more responsible. Each award that is conferred upon you makes you more responsible, makes you more, you know, makes you work harder and makes you work smarter that, yes, people are looking up to you, you need to work more.
So, what is the one core message that you have received from your gurus or mentors or coaches or the people you look up to that has been your guiding light?
I am possible. Impossible. I am possible. That's it. That is just, I think it describes everything in its own. I don't need to explain anything further.
Wonderful, wonderful talking to you, Rashmi. And I'm really glad that you took this time out and talked to us so many useful, practical, to-do points, tips, etc., that's going to uh, engage and enrich people, women especially, to better themselves and make this place a better place for the generations to come. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
A strong woman with multiple hats, Rashi is clear that success is a journey and not a destination. With her inner energy, she powers many. Thank you, Rashi, for the wonderful work that you are doing. Salutations to such inspirers in our lives. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope you liked this conversation and found it inspiring. If you think this could help transform minds, please share this with others you know. You can listen to the Impressive Impress podcasts on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, TuneIn, JioSaavn, and Player FM. Multiple options. Got a question that you want me to ask our next guest? Do write to me at empress at Bhogya.online. EMPRESS at BHOGYA.ONLINE. I look forward to receiving your feedback and comments. Bye until the next time and take care.